I want to tell you about someone I'll call Elena. Elena has a master's degree. She reads books, real books, cover to cover. She knows what an index fund is. She understands compound interest. She has watched videos exactly like this one for the past 4 years. And yet, at 34, she has $2,800 in savings and $19,000 in credit card debt. Elena is not stupid. Elena is, by any conventional measure, one of the smartest people I have had the opportunity to study from a financial behavior standpoint. And that, precisely that, is the problem. Today I'm going to explain why intelligence, on its own, is not just unhelpful when it comes to money. It can actively work against you. And more importantly, I'm going to show you the 3 specific psychological traps that catch smart people hardest, and the structural fixes that bypass them entirely. The first trap is the one that hits smart people hardest: analysis paralysis. Here's how it works. Elena knows enough about investing to know that the choices matter. She knows some funds are better than others. She knows timing can be important. She knows there are tax implications, fee structures, account types to consider, allocation strategies to research. So she researches deeply, thoroughly. She reads one more article, watches one more comparison video, waits until she's truly certain she's making the optimal choice. 3 years pass. She still hasn't opened an account. This is what Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Barry Schwartz called the paradox of choice. The more options available, the less likely people are to choose any of them. And the smarter the person, the more options they can generate, meaning the more paralysis is possible. The people who build the most wealth fastest are almost never the ones who made the most optimal investment choices. They're the ones who made good enough choices immediately. A total market index fund opened today will outperform the perfectly researched portfolio that never gets opened. The cure for analysis paralysis is not more research. It's a decision deadline. 48 hours. Pick the best option you currently know about. Execute. You can optimize later. Later is infinitely better than never. Trap 2 is biological. And understanding it changes everything. Researchers at Harvard and Princeton have documented something called present bias, the consistent human tendency to overvalue what's available right now and systematically undervalue what's available in the future. In a famous experiment, people were given a choice: $100 today or $120 in 1 month. The majority chose $100 today. Even though $120 in 1 month is a 20% return in 30 days, something no investment in history has reliably offered. This is your brain in its default state, not because you're irrational, because you're human. For most of human evolutionary history, a bird in hand genuinely was better than 2 in the bush. The future was uncertain. Immediate resources were real. But in a modern financial context, present bias is catastrophic. It's why people spend money they planned to save. Why they feel genuinely differently about a purchase in the moment than they did when they set their budget 3 days ago. Why even Elena, who knows all of this, still struggles with it. The fix is not willpower, the fix is architecture. You cannot out-willpower a biological drive. The people who consistently save more don't have more discipline than you. They have built systems that remove the decision from the present moment entirely. Automatic transfers, separate accounts, pre-committed rules made when emotions are cold, friction between themselves and their savings, so that accessing the money requires deliberate effort, not just a moment of weakness. You cannot out-willpower your biology, but you can build a system that removes the decision entirely. That's what the financially successful actually do. The third trap is the one that no one wants to talk about, because it requires looking at something uncomfortable about ourselves. We spend money to tell a story about who we are. The technical term is signaling. The car tells a story. The apartment tells a story. The clothes, the restaurant, the vacation photos, all signals, all communicating something to the people around us about our status, our taste, our success. This isn't shallow or unique to you. It is deeply human, evolutionarily ancient. Social status was genuinely life or death for most of human history. But here's what researcher and author Morgan Housel pointed out in The Psychology of Money. And this is one of the most liberating insights I've ever encountered. When you see a nice car on the street, you rarely think about the person driving it. You imagine yourself in it. Nobody is as impressed by your things as you think they are. The audience you're performing for largely doesn't exist. And here's the devastating irony. Actual wealthy people, the ones with real net worth, are almost invisible. IRS data on millionaires consistently shows they drive ordinary cars, live in ordinary neighborhoods, and wear ordinary clothes. They stopped performing wealth long before they achieved it. In many cases, stopping the performance is what allowed them to achieve it. Elena drives a leased BMW, $680 a month. Her colleague, same salary, same job, drives a 2019 Honda Civic, paid cash, $0 per month, $680 a month invested for 8 years, $97,000. One car decision, $97,000 difference. This is the month 1 finale of Wealth Shift. 8 videos, 8 frameworks, one consistent message. The gap between knowing and doing is almost always a system problem, not an intelligence problem. Elena knows everything she needs to know. What she's missing is architecture. Structures that make the right behavior the default, not something that requires daily discipline and willpower to maintain. Here is your 3-part action item from this video. 1. Give yourself a 48-hour decision deadline on any investment account you've been meaning to open. Not this month. 48 hours from now. 2. Automate one transfer, any amount, before you do anything else this week. The habit is worth more than the amount right now. 3. Audit one spending category that might be more about signaling than about genuine enjoyment. Just one. Be honest with yourself. Redirect what you find. Comment below. Which of the 3 traps hits closest to home for you? Analysis paralysis, present bias, social signaling, no judgment, just data. I want to know what to build for month 2. Month 2 of Wealth Shift starts next Tuesday. We're going deeper. Real estate versus index funds, how to negotiate your salary like you know what you're worth, and the tax strategy most people don't discover until they're already wealthy. Subscribe. Everything I'm building next month is built for you. If this video explained something you felt but couldn't name, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes the most useful thing you can do for someone is hand them the language for what they're experiencing. All 7 previous Wealth Shift videos are live right now. Every one of them builds on this. Start from video 1 if you haven't already. The full playlist is on screen. Month 2 starts Tuesday. I'll see you there.